Are you concerned about the state of our democracy? Welcome to Thing Global, where we dive deep into the issues that matter. I bet you didn't know how crucial truth is in politics. Politics is a battlefield of ideas, a place where different visions for the future clash and compete. It's where we fight for our vision of the future, striving to make our voices heard and our dreams realized. But what happens when the weapons are lies? When facts are twisted and manipulated to serve hidden agendas? We lose sight of the truth, and in that fog of misinformation, our ability to make informed decisions is compromised. And without truth, there can be no trust, no progress. Just division and chaos, tearing apart the very fabric of our society. It's like trying to build a house on a foundation of sand. It's unsustainable and dangerous. The structure will eventually collapse. We need to demand better from our leaders, from each other. We must hold ourselves to a higher standard of honesty and integrity. We need to be critical thinkers, fact-checkers, vigilant guardians of the truth in an age of misinformation. Hold those in power accountable for their words. Because the truth matters. Now more than ever in this era of rapid information exchange, truth is the cornerstone of a functioning democracy. It ensures that justice is served and that the will of the people is respected. It's the bedrock upon which informed decisions are made, allowing for a society that is fair and just. It allows for a healthy exchange of ideas and holds those in power accountable. It fosters transparency and trust. When truth is eroded, so too is the foundation of our democracy. We must protect it at all costs, for the sake of our future. Former President Donald Trump has made several false claims about Vice President Kamala Harris's crime record, distorting her positions and actions. Trump falsely stated that Harris supports mass amnesty and citizenship for all illegals, even criminals, which is not true. He wrongly claimed that there was no crime if someone stole less than $1,000 worth of goods, and incorrectly said Harris started such a policy. In California, shoplifting more than $950 worth of goods is a felony, but it's a misdemeanor for values below that. Trump falsely claimed that Harris, as San Francisco DA, wouldn't arrest murderers and wouldn't arrest anybody. He also claimed Harris supports mandatory gun confiscation, which is not accurate. Trump said Harris urged her followers to donate to bail rapists and murderers out of jail, which is a distortion of her support for a bail fund for protesters. Ending money bail does not mean accused murderers would automatically be released from jail before trial. Trump distorted facts by claiming Harris redefined serious crimes as non-violent, which is misleading. Violent crime and murders have decreased during the Biden-Harris administration, contrary to Trump's claims. Trump has cited misleading data to claim a rise in violent crime since he left office. In this era of rapid information exchange, the truth matters more than ever. We must protect it for the sake of our future. Kamala Harris, daughter of immigrants, Howard University grad. A woman who has always been driven by a sense of purpose and justice. First black woman to serve as Attorney General of California, a role that put her at the forefront of legal battles and reforms. And now, the Vice President of the United States, a historic achievement that marks a new chapter in her journey. Her story is one of breaking barriers, of fighting for justice, of challenging the status quo and making a difference. But to understand her, we need to look back at her roots, to the values instilled in her from a young age, at her time as a prosecutor, where she honed her skills and built her reputation. Harris spent years in the trenches of the legal system, navigating complex cases and making tough decisions, first as a deputy district attorney in Alameda County, where she learned the intricacies of the law, then as the district attorney of San Francisco, a position that allowed her to implement significant changes. And finally, as California's top cop. Her record is complex, nuanced, reflecting the challenges of the role. But one thing is clear, she dedicated her career to upholding the law, to ensuring justice was served. As a prosecutor, Harris faced tough choices, decisions that impacted lives and communities. Her job was to seek justice, to hold criminals accountable, to ensure the safety of the public, but also to protect the innocent. It's a delicate balance, one that requires empathy and understanding, one that requires careful consideration of the facts, a deep commitment to the principles of justice, and a commitment to fairness, a journey that continues to inspire and shape the future. Enter Donald Trump, a man who seems to have a tenuous relationship with the truth. Throughout his political career, Trump has weaponized misinformation, twisting facts to fit his narrative. And when it comes to Kamala Harris, he's pulled no punches. Trump has repeatedly attacked Harris's record on crime, painting her as soft on criminals, a radical leftist who wants to defund the police. These claims are not only baseless, but dangerous. They prey on people's fears and undermine trust in our justice system. Trump's attacks on Harris are part of a larger pattern. He's used similar tactics against other opponents, anyone he sees as a threat. It's a cynical strategy, one that aims to sow division and distrust, and it's deeply harmful to our democracy. The truth is, Harris's record on crime is far more nuanced than Trump would have you believe. She's been both praised and criticized for her approach. But to label her as soft on crime is a gross oversimplification. It ignores the complexities of the criminal justice system. As a prosecutor, Harris had a duty to uphold the law, but she also recognized the need for reform. She implemented programs aimed at reducing recidivism, at addressing racial disparities in the justice system. Her approach was one of balance, of seeking justice while also advocating for fairness. The lenient on crime label is often used as a political weapon. It's a way to discredit opponents, to scare voters into supporting tough on crime policies. But it's a simplistic and often misleading label, one that ignores the complexities of criminal justice reform. Section 5. Debunking Trump's claims case studies. Now let's look at the specifics. It's crucial to examine the details to understand the full picture. Trump has made a number of claims about Harris's record on crime. These claims have been repeated in various speeches and interviews, claims that crumble under scrutiny. When we dig deeper, the truth becomes evident. Take, for example, his assertion that she released dangerous criminals onto the streets. This statement has been widely circulated. This is simply not true. In fact, the opposite is often the case. Factcheck.org, a nonpartisan fact-checking website, has debunked this claim. Their thorough investigation found no basis for Trump's assertion. They found no evidence to support Trump's assertion. The records show a different story. In fact, Harris has a record of prosecuting violent criminals. Her tenure is marked by a commitment to justice, of fighting for victims' rights. She has consistently advocated for those affected by crime. Trump's claim is a fabrication. It's a deliberate distortion of the facts, a deliberate attempt to mislead the public. This kind of misinformation can have serious consequences. Another example is Trump's assertion that Harris opposed the death penalty. This claim has also been scrutinized. While it's true that Harris personally opposes capital punishment, she upheld the law as Attorney General. Her professional duty often required her to set aside personal beliefs. She even fought to reinstate California's death penalty after it was ruled unconstitutional. This action underscores her commitment to her role. This is a clear example of Trump cherry-picking facts to fit his narrative. By selectively presenting information, he creates a misleading picture. Section 6. The impact of misinformation on public perception. The danger of Trump's lies is that they have real-world consequences. When people are constantly bombarded with misinformation, it erodes trust. It makes it difficult to have informed debates, and it can lead to dangerous outcomes. Studies have shown that exposure to misinformation can influence people's beliefs and behaviors. It can lead to increased polarization, to a decline in political participation, and in extreme cases, it can even incite violence. The stakes are high. We cannot afford to be complacent. The spread of misinformation is a threat to our democracy. It undermines the very foundation of a free and informed society. We all have a role to play in combating it, by being critical thinkers, by demanding evidence, and by holding those in power accountable for their words. Section 7. Voices from the legal community defending Harris's record. It's not just fact-checkers who have challenged Trump's claims. Legal experts from across the political spectrum have come to Harris's defense. They point to her record of upholding the law, of seeking justice, of implementing reforms aimed at making the system fairer. Kamala Harris is a tough prosecutor, said George Gascon, the district attorney of Los Angeles County. She's always been committed to public safety, but she also understands the need for criminal justice reform. Gascon, a progressive prosecutor, has worked with Harris on a number of initiatives. The attacks on Kamala Harris's record are baseless, said James Tierney, a former Attorney General of Maine. She's a dedicated public servant who has always put the law first. Tierney, a Democrat, has praised Harris's commitment to justice. Section 8. The political weaponization of fear. Trump's attacks on Harris are about more than just her record on crime. They're part of a larger strategy to stoke fear and division, to pit Americans against each other. It's a tactic as old as politics itself. By painting Harris as a radical leftist, Trump is trying to scare voters. He's trying to create a false choice between law and order and chaos. It's a dangerous game, one that threatens to undermine our democracy. We must reject this kind of divisive rhetoric. We must demand better from our leaders. We need to have honest conversations about the challenges facing our country, and we need to work together to find solutions. Section 9. The importance of accurate information in a democracy. In a democracy, we, the people, hold the power, but that power is only as strong as our access to accurate information. When we're bombarded with lies, it becomes difficult to make informed decisions. We become vulnerable to manipulation. That's why it's so important to be critical thinkers, to question what we see and hear, to seek out information from reliable sources, and to be wary of those who traffic in misinformation. We all have a responsibility to protect the integrity of our information ecosystem, by being discerning consumers of news, by calling out misinformation when we see it, and by supporting organizations that are working to combat disinformation. Section 10. Beyond the rhetoric. Focusing on real solutions. The debate about criminal justice reform is an important one. But it shouldn't be about scoring political points. It's about people's lives, about creating a system that is fair and just for all. We need to move beyond the rhetoric and focus on finding real solutions. Solutions that address the root causes of crime, that provide opportunities for rehabilitation, and that ensure equal justice under the law. This is not a partisan issue, it's an American issue. And it's time we started treating it as such. Section 11. A call for integrity and accountability. In the end, it all comes down to integrity. The integrity of our leaders, the integrity of our information, and the integrity of our democracy. We need leaders who are willing to tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. We need a media that is committed to accuracy and fairness. And we need citizens who are engaged and informed. Let's demand better. Let's hold each other accountable. And let's work together to create a more just and equitable society. This message is brought to you by Thing Global. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Thing Global YouTube channel for more insightful content.